Hi, this is Chris Krimitsos from Live Event Profits. Today I'm going to cover a few things that hotels will tell you you cannot negotiate, but you can. So I want to just share with you, there's two reasons why hotels will tell you you can't negotiate with them. One is you might get a salesperson that doesn't want to negotiate with you. Two is you might get a new salesperson that really doesn't know what they can and cannot negotiate. And three is they're playing hardball with you and you need to understand how the game is played. In order to have any leverage on a venue or a hotel, you need to have two other bids of other hotels in the area so that you could play one off the other and give you some negotiating power. But one of the things that they do, and it's a standard thing, is for every 40 room nights that you book with your venue, in other words, your attendees book room nights at the hotel, they give you one room night free. They call it 1 to 40. So you'll say, hey, I'd like to have a 1 to 40 for my room nights, and they know exactly what you're talking about. Recently, I went through a negotiation where we got some really good pricing on everything else, and we said, hey, we'd like to have a standard 1 to 40. And the salesperson said, well, I don't know if I could do that. We really don't do it, blah, blah, blah. And she came back to us and said, I'll do 1 to 50. Well, when the paperwork came to us, the contract, the boilerplate already said 1 to 40, which is what their standard is. So it kind of reaffirmed to me that that is their standard 1 to 40. In other words, so if you booked 400 room nights with your attendees, you would get, 10 room nights free, which would be, I don't know, $150, let's say the room night. That's a $1,500 rebate back on towards your event, which is really great. The other thing that a hotel will allow you to do is when you get your room block set and you negotiate your room prices, you could actually tack on $10 to each room each night. So let's say the room night that they give you is $149. You could put $10 additional, $159, and that $10 rebate also comes back to you. And it's kind of a bonus that sometimes a hotel gives you some room, so that $10 helps you defer other costs that you incur from bringing the event to them. For newer events, one thing I would negotiate is asking them for tables and chairs for your exhibit area. If you're newer and you've never done an exhibit area before, a lot of hotels do have 6-foot or 8-foot tables, and they will provide you 2 chairs. So when you're negotiating, I would just ask them to provide you with whatever it is that you need, 25 or 50 tables. They might say, we're not going to do that, we'll provide you 10. But remember, that's 10 free tables and 20 chairs that you'll get for free that you don't have to pay for your exhibit area. If you do use a professional exhibit company to set up that area, what is called pipe and drape, then that's a little bit, they usually handle it from there. You also want to negotiate that you're allowed to hook up your computers and your electrical equipment into the outlets without having to pay an electric hookup fee. I know this sounds kind of crazy, but a lot of times they will not let you plug things into the outlets without dealing with the in-house logistical electrical team. So I always have them write into the contract that my team is allowed to hook up their printers, their computers directly into the walls of the hotel without any additional fees. Believe it or not, once you're on a hotel property, fees get created, so you really want to be diligent about negotiating these things up front. Now, most big hotels, especially conference and convention style hotels, have an audio-visual company that signs a contract with them that usually gets all their audio-video production. They're the ones that the hotel refers. Now, unfortunately, for some hotels, you cannot use anyone but the in-house conference provider. I don't recommend that for anyone because the fees on those companies are astronomical. So what I usually do is always ask for it to be written in the contract that I'm allowed to bring outside audio-visual companies to help me with my conference. This literally will drop the price by 70% compared to the in-house AV company, almost always. So always ask and have it written in your contract that you're allowed to bring in your own outside AV company. Now, sometimes they say, listen, if you don't use our AV company, there's a cancellation fee. Ask them what the fee is. Sometimes it could be $1,500 up to $15,000. Then try and negotiate it off. If you can't negotiate it off, ask them what they can do. Recently, there was a fee. It was $1,500. They cut it in half for me, $750. For sometimes it sounds like a lot, but in the grand scheme of things, it saves you a lot of money long term. The other thing you can do is for your event, you can negotiate a discount on all the food that you consume. So you could get a 10 to 20% discount on the food itself. So if let's say you're supposed to order $30,000 worth of food and beverage with whatever banquet space they gave you, you could literally get a 20% discount, which allows you now to order $40,000 worth of food, but it only costs you $35,000 because it gave you a discount on the food. So always ask for those discounts. Now the key in all hotel contract negotiations is always get it in writing. Verbal does not count. It's great if you have it via email nowadays, but you want it written in the contract. You make your money in events by negotiating everything up front, locking in your costs. That way you could focus on selling tickets and growing your conference. So that's my tip that most hotels will not let you know exists. From Live Event Profits, I'm Chris Krimitsos in tropical sunny Miami Beach, signing over and out.